I have a great idea.
But I'll
Never do it. It might happen. Sure, the monkey's right flat on my butt. I don't think so.
I don't see it happening.
Hey everyone, it's me, John D. Richardson, Esquire. No Esquire. I am certified at doing nothing. Who are
Me
you?
too. I'm also certified at doing nothing, and I'm Louise.
I wonder if the reason why we don't follow through on a lot of these ideas is because of lack of motivation, and maybe that's why we're not certified to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm okay with that.
Me too.
So thanks everyone for tuning in, for pressing play on that app, or from, I don't know, going on a website. I don't know.
I don't know your life.
Podcast. Yeah, nor should we, unless you want to tell us about it. But we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
This is the podcast where my bud Louise and I talk about all the great ideas that we always have, but that we are literally never going to do. With rare exceptions.
Have we done one?
I mean, we started this podcast.
Okay, one.
Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah, that's the only
Yeah,
one.
pretty much. So, yeah, and if you have a great idea, if you want to tell us about a great idea that you'll never do, you can call us, 304-804-IDEA, or you can write to us, greatideapod@gmail.com. All of our social media stuff is at greatideapod. We literally never do it. I got to stop saying literally. We very rarely do anything with our social medias.
Right. But I like knowing it's there.
Is it social medias, social medium, or socials media, like
Ooh.
passersby?
I think it's socials media. But
It probably isn't, but it really should be. Hey, Louise, how's it going?
well, I'm in a little bit of a depression. Last night, the Olympics were officially over. And now I don't know what to do with myself for the next 2 years. But I mean, otherwise, life's all right.
Well, here's a question for you. Are you a fan of like any... I know that you go to the occasional baseball game when that's in season.
Yeah.
Is that what you say, in season? Like it's a strawberry or something?
Yeah, I guess so. Baseball season.
But like baseball's in season now. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
So, but like aside from that, are you really much of a sports person? We've known each other for a really long time, and I just like don't straight up know this about you. I know that you love the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean that's just totally a different level. I go in phases, I guess, and it's like picking and choosing. Chris and I once took I'll call it a field trip to St. Louis, and we saw...
Did Mayor have to sign a permission slip?
She wouldn't have, even if she had to.
Would you have forged Mayor's signature?
You know it. That's how I went on all my field trips.
The truth is out.
It's true. Sorry, Mrs. Chinberg or Mrs. Duncan or Mrs... Those are the only two I can remember right now.
Mrs. Chinberg sounds like the name of a character that would be on Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And if you want to hear us talk about that show, listen to our other podcast, Louise It to Beaver. Not a joke.
Two great
field
ideas.
Trip.
Oh, yeah.
So field trip.
We went to St. Louis for, I think, 48 hours, maybe 36, somewhere in there, to see a World Cup. To see a World Cup qualifying match. It was Trinidad, Tobago, and the U.S. And then previous to that, I have a friend who I often visit who works for the State Department, and he was in Sao Paulo, and I had gone to visit him, and he was like, hey, next year the World Cup is in Brazil. You should come back. And I was like, yes, please. So
right.
I
feel like the World Cup would be a fun one to be at.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
And then I didn't go to school at the University of Iowa, but my family is very much into the Hawkeyes, and so like I'm an honorary Hawkeye in my family. So I watch like college football games, and yeah, I don't know. I like sport.
Uh-huh.
I used to sing
like
the national
competition.
anthem in high school at like basketball games and swim meets and stuff. So I like that. And I like, I don't know, like the fine line between sometimes the showmanship of doing something and then the actual skill it takes to do it. Like, not that I want to bring up ice skating, but it's sort of like, let's go back to tap shows for a second. Also, I love theater. When you're doing a really, really complicated tap combination and the audience is like crickets, and then you half time the music and like slow everything down, and then the audience is applauding, and you're like, bitch, that's not hard. So it's like whatever, like that is the thing that gets the audience really going. I don't know.
Right.
Or that's been my experience.
Yeah.
So I don't think that, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm a super sportsy girl, but I do like sports.
Uh-huh.
I guess I don't really follow
Right.
athletes during the non-Olympics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to a cross-country ski meet.
Sure. Yeah. It's not like
race.
you're really remembering too many of these people's names and like tracking their career and what's going on with them
Right.
afterwards. It's like, oh, we're done now.
Right.
All right.
Or there's
maybe
a
I'll see
few-
you in a while.
Yeah, or there's a few that I've followed on Instagram since the beginning of Instagram. Like the two that, whatever. But,
Give him a shout out. Who are they?
Shaun White.
Okay.
Because he was just, I don't know, I felt like...
You're a big Orbit Gum fan?
What's that?
You're a big Orbit Gum fan? Wasn't he like the spokesperson for Orbit Gum?
That's right. Well, okay, so I think I maybe like fell in love with him. I don't know. I feel like we're the same age. Like he was 16 and I was 16, and he was like doing some skateboard thing with Tony Hawk, and I was like, oh my God, like I may have even been watching MTV, and then I was like, wait, this guy snowboards? Wait, he's going to the Olympics? Wait. And, times like that. And then...
And you just started short-circuiting and sparks are flying everywhere.
Yeah. And then, of course, Johnny Weir, because when he broke the scene in skating, I was like loving this guy. And then because of him, Tara Lipinski, and now their correspondents, and I think they even went to the Rio Olympics. I don't know what they would have corresponded there because they're not expert in summer games, but I believe that they went down
But they
there
just
for
are
Carnival.
charismatic.
Yeah. Ambassadors of America, and yeah, so anyway, I'm sad. Like I feel a little lost.
Well, right now, we're going to get you back into it.
Oh, yeah.
Back into just like being jazzed about stuff, because we're going to talk about some great ideas that we're never going to do.
Yeah.
I think that you started last time. I'll start this time. How's that?
Cool.
Okay. So, I've been like kind of teasing for a while that I'm going to talk about some baby ideas, because I've got a 7-month-old who is currently snoozing the night away. And I actually have the baby monitor. I'm pretty sure you guys can't hear it, but there's like just a low, subtle roar by my feet where I have the monitor right now. And I did a lot of like tinkering with audio levels to try to like make sure that I was going to be, the microphone was going to be picking up stuff from the baby monitor and whatever. And it's right now I just have audio going. I don't need to see the top of her head not move, for a while. So just have audio. And we have like a normal monitor, but there's, also got like a camera that is Wi-Fi and everything like that. But I don't know if that's what we need right now. I don't necessarily need to hear the entire like room that she is in. All I need to know is if she is crying. I also don't even need to know if she's going like blah 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 blah, because like at 5:30 in the morning she'll go blah 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 blah. Like she'll just talk to herself for a while, and
Awake or asleep?
Oh, she'll be awake. Sometimes she'll probably be asleep, but like she might just be practicing like the noises that she makes and stuff like that. But I don't need that to wake me up. I need to, wake up if there's something wrong and she's crying. Because if she's just like chilling, then we're good. So, Louise, we're hooked up to everything at all times. We've got watches that tell us when we have a calendar appointment coming up soon, and like we are just constantly connected. So I just need something that will vibrate, make a tone, something just when she's crying. That's all I need. We actually have one of those devices that we put on her foot that monitors her heart rate and oxygen level, so we know if like the big evil SIDS monster is coming to town. Luckily, all this thing has ever done is send us notifications when the sock is out of place or if there's a low battery or something. It's never told us like, one time it was just like dangerously low oxygen levels. Then like we go in there and the sock is just like next to her on the mattress or something. Like it just fell off. So I just need something that will send me an alert, not like any loud alarm sounds, but just like a vibration on my wrist to let me know when I need to be in there with her. I don't need to know when she's practicing her vowels.
Right.
She does it all the time. She's wonderful at it. Just saying. So it's just a new kind of baby monitor. It's not necessarily monitoring, the entirety of the room. It's just when she needs it. I don't know.
I like it.
It might exist.
I mean, if you're listening to this for the first time, we do little to no research before we start spewing.
For something like this, I've done just like having a baby. You read about all the like gizmos that are out, and it's hard to you make a lot of decisions about like what's the right thing to get. And so, but like I just haven't come across anything exactly like what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because this, like, even that, like, sock monitor thing, it's called the Owlet. And for the longest time, we figured out how to turn off the sound, but basically there needs to be this little, like, puck thing pretty much next to her crib. And it's got lights, and it makes noise, and it's like, if the sock is in a weird place on her foot, I don't need that thing lighting up and playing Hush Little Baby in like a shrill beepy tone that's super loud. That's just going to wake her up. I just need something that's going to alert me when it's like something is truly up. So I don't even, maybe it's just a matter of making these things better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, there's actually a really cool thing called the Snoo. And it's for younger babies, but it's a bassinet that's sexy as hell. And it like can tell if your baby is like fussing around a lot, and then it will like rock and like vibrate more to like settle the baby.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google that.
Snoo, Snoo. It's crazy. Check it out.
Okay, I will check it
Yeah.
out. I mean, not right now. It's
Check-
in the middle of a podcast, but
Yeah, for the dog, maybe. I don't know.
oh yeah, he would be living his dreams.
Rock me. Okay. Ideas wise, what you got? What's
Okay.
cooking in that brain?
I got a lot of things cooking.
Okay.
One of them is a thing I'd like to call, maybe if you've got a better name, tell me, but dinner mittens.
Okay.
It's for when you've purchased a wrap, let's say, a burger,
Okay.
something you need to eat with your hands, French fries, I don't know, you decide. And you've also just gotten a manicure. So
Okay.
every time you go to eat, you're smelling / tasting chemicals.
Uh-huh.
This is from personal experience, actually.
Of course it is.
Weeks ago, I was like, I'm starving. There's no food in the house, and it's terrible to go to the grocery store hungry. Let's just get takeout or delivery. And then it arrived, and I had just had a manicure, and I washed my hands, and I was like, I'm ready. And I was eating French fries and maybe had about 4 and was like, something is wrong. Something is not right. And Chris was like, tastes fine to me. And it took me halfway through my meal to realize if I'd only had some dinner mittens, I could have kept my appetite and enjoyed it instead of stopping.
So, would it
They're
have
just
been...
mittens that you put on that you can eat with. Would it have been what?
No, like the nails and everything, they were dry. They were already just like...
Oh, yeah. I had my manicure, let's say, at 4 p.m., and we were eating, diner delivery at like 9:30 or 10. Like
Diner delivery. That's what you get for takeout? Diner food?
Well,
this is a
this
side
was
conversation.
that specific time. But I also said if you happen to get a wrap,
Uh-huh.
I don't know who eats
So-
hummus with their forks, but I'm going hands in on that stuff too. Pita,
Okay,
carrots.
Right. So, this is something that would just kind of neutralize the aroma,
Yeah.
but that's something that you wouldn't mind touching food with. But maybe it's like...
I didn't think that far about it. I was just thinking like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to wear latex gloves because that feels really surgical. And also, I don't have those
Yeah.
at my house already. And you might taste the weird powder dust that they have on them. Or if you don't
Right.
have that kind or whatever. I don't know. All I was saying was I had this idea because I basically could not enjoy any part of that meal. And I was like,
Right.
dinner mittens. This would have been great.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could take it to another level and kind of make it more of like also a napkin situation. Because I'm just trying to think of like a wrap. So, okay,
Well, I washed my hands. That's the thing.
you washed your hands, but there was still something coming off of
like
those fingers.
chemicals. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, how do you
Or
how do
maybe
you
if
really
there's like
navigate that?
neutralizing juice, like the acidity of a lemon in, I don't know.
Yeah, is there something? Maybe it's a matter of like
a better
dipping
soap?
your fingers into some sort of like jelly or liquid solution
Yeah.
that just like sucks out the like chemical odors.
Yeah, without hurting your skin or your manicure.
Right, of course, because that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So first world problem, but I had it.
Sure.
And
Well,
then-
I also kind of want to toss this out to our listeners. If you have any ideas for this type of thing, because my question is, what is this mitten made of?
Right. I don't know. I didn't think that far through.
Is it a silicone situation?
I don't know.
I feel like that's where we're at these days, where it's like, oh, silicone is the solution for everything, where it's like, it's better for the environment. It's, doesn't really have an odor or flavor.
Yeah, because the next thing is I feel like you'd only have one pair. it wouldn't be use them and throw them away after your meal.
Oh, of course.
You would have them, and then you would just have them and wash
Yeah.
them and hang them to dry. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a question for you. What is your, let's say you're getting a takeout like burrito. What is your, you don't do it.
I don't do burritos.
You don't do burritos.
No, if I go to Chipotle, I'm getting a bowl. And most of the time, I am afraid of burritos because I am a no cilantro. No.
I'm aware of your cilantro situation.
No burritos.
But just straight up no burritos. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, I'll just always choose something else.
Uh-huh. Man, I don't know how I would be able to live without burritos. Also, cilantro doesn't come into my life all that much. And the thing is, I know when it does because I think about you.
But it's not always, but it's often in like pico de gallo.
Right.
It's like often in, let's talk about Chipotle for just a second, like that
Right.
tomato. It's not the pico de gallo, but it's like this other tomato based like
salsa.
chunky. Sure.
Yeah.
Like it's often in that, and the trace amounts of it where somebody who enjoys it or doesn't notice it, it's like not there, but it is the thing making it unenjoyable for me.
Man,
I know, it's rough.
that is really rough. Huh.
What were you gonna say? Like, what are my toppings?
Well, no. It's more about the way that you would eat it. And I guess wraps fall into a similar category depending on how they are, like what the wrap, like once it is a wrap, what it is wrapped inside of. Because a lot of times burritos will be wrapped in some sort of foil that, the best way to attack it is to kind of unwrap from the top, revealing a little bit at a time so that you don't just have like a potentially falling apart mess in your hands.
Yeah. I will
It
often
keeps
get a
it
breakfast wrap if I'm in a hurry and can't do that myself.
Uh-huh.
And that at the place I normally go comes in a paper, but they cut it
Okay.
in half for you already. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
you do have to unwrap it, but I'm mostly just always so hungry I immediately take all the paper off and then in like 3
Oh,
bites
really?
it's down. Yeah.
Well, then you don't even have a problem right there. By the way, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, and this does not apply to anything in the ideas department, but I will take a wrap over a sandwich 10 times out of 10.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I don't need the stress of worrying about things falling out of the sides.
Wow.
I don't need that in
Okay.
my life.
Not even an open face. Like, what about avocado toast?
Avocado toast isn't a sandwich.
Oh.
It's toast.
Oh.
It's toast with topping on it.
Okay. Fair point. Fair point.
I mean, like, a PB&J doesn't really work as a wrap.
Correct.
But you're not so worried about, like, lettuce or tomatoes or whatever else, like, falling out of the sides. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking here. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
That's all.
I, first of all, love bread. I also feel like sometimes that's the fun of it.
Oh, the challenge of keeping
Yeah.
everything inside?
Yeah. Or like I don't really have a preference between a square cut or a triangle cut for consumption reasons, and sometimes when there's bits coming out one side, I'm like, ooh, I better eat from that side now. So like,
Right.
that's kind of a game, a sandwich game.
It's the best game of all.
Yeah.
I want to see that in the Olympics.
So I have 2 other ideas related to this one thing. You want me to keep going or
let's just keep going.
So the next idea spawned from just like thinking, dinner mittens. Why are there not color changing oven mitts? That would be the greatest.
Just like for fun purposes
Yeah.
or for okay, then
We
yeah,
have
make
the
it happen.
technology. Let's just do it. Like hypercolor t-shirts, like yeah, that'd be so fun.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the like kind of hypercolor car paint before, which
Yeah.
as we all know, you and I are on board with things that
Oh,
change
yeah.
color. So, I mean, why stop at oven mitts? Yeah, of course. I guess oven mitts have the extra level of fun because they are constantly in temperature changing situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also just like hypercolor, like cold storage packs, like ice packs, where it's like that you need to stick it back in the freezer because it has changed to a different color, something like that. It's just fun.
I like it. We need to bring it back. So many things are coming back. That's one of them that needs to.
So Jenko Jeans just announced that they are officially closing their doors for good. So as two giant pant legs walk out the door, something from the past needs to come back, right? Yeah. All right, what was your one other thing that was...
Oh, the final idea that had to do with dinner mittens is less about mittens and more just about also fun, because I was like, ooh, color-changing oven mitts. Okay. It's a black olive photo shoot. It's like glamour shots, but with food. You could have like, did you ever put black olives on your fingers like at Thanksgiving from a platter and like have...
The real question is, did I ever not put black olives on my fingers?
Right. So, yeah, and then I thought, ooh, you could do like a clementine slice mustache. Or you could do weird hand poses with your black olive fingers, and yeah, that's it. Just fun, nostalgic food glamour shots.
Okay. Turn this into an Instagram account.
Yes.
And just like start doing it. Because these are the things that like people like to pick up on.
Okay, first of all, I need a good camera, so I need that. But second, what do I call it?
Oh man. That's I'm not going to waste dead air on that right now, but
okay.
like
Check back in with me though, cuz I feel like I need to do
I'm going to think about that though, because that sounds like fun.
Cuz I have a crimper in a closet somewhere and a lot of hairspray waiting to glamour shot it up. I don't know. Okay, cool. Those were
all right. So my other idea, and I've had this one on here for a while, but it's kind of a dud. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's kind of a dud. So
no, what?
Right now, you haven't heard it yet.
I bet it's great.
Be like, okay, well, it's not a fully formed idea, but anyway, this is another baby related thing, because right now it is winter in the Pacific Northwest, and every weekday I got to get my kid in the car, take her to daycare. But part of the routine kind of has to be open up the garage door, start the car, and let it warm up, like crank up the heat to like 80 and let it warm up for a while. And that's just like most of the time I just have to like go in and grab her and put her in, and it's not even warm at all. Or like I just don't want to leave the car running for, that long. So there needs to be, I understand the issues with like, it's a bad idea to have a heating element in a baby's car seat. I get that. But there needs to be something. I don't know if it's just like a gigantic bean bag or something, but you know how there's those like hand warmers and those foot warmers that like you put in your shoes or whatever, but they're just like, you kind of just crunch them around a little bit and they generate heat somehow. There needs to be just like a big one of those that you like put on a baby's car seat like overnight or something, and it just kind of keeps it, even if it's like room temperature, as long as it's not like freezing cold, because babies are fragile little creatures, and 1 degree too cold to 1 degree too warm, and that kid's got a fever.
That's a great idea. I don't know what to call it or how we would do it, but
right. But I feel like it can't require gas or electricity or anything like that, because then you're just like really putting things in danger. So there just needs to be something I don't know, maybe.
What if you could
I don't
train
know.
Daisy to go sit in the seat and make it warm? Yeah. There
Here she is right here.
If you could
She's
make
making
her
this seat warm.
just body heat warm up the seat and then be like, good dog. And then kick her out.
Oh my God. She would not participate
No.
willingly in
Mine
that
either.
situation. She would certainly be able to cover it with her own fur by like freaking out and like shedding all over it. So that's a thing. Yeah, no, it's not a great idea. That one is not a great idea. It's
But
not
it
even a
could
full
be.
idea.
It could be great.
It could be. If you have an idea of how to make that actually a thing, call us 304-804-IDEA. You'll leave a voicemail and we can play it on the show. Send us an email, greatideapod@gmail.com. We have a little bit to talk about with that, but first let's talk about our challenges from not the last episode because that was our Olympics mini-sode, but the episode before that we had challenged each other. So I'll let you go first. I forget what I challenged you to.
Okay, I was challenged to kitchen storage.
Right.
I feel like it's so hard unless you're going to be, I don't know, doing it sort of the Jetsons style where everything's super sleek and then you just open a thing and it's there. But I had this idea. Try to envision this with me because I don't even know if I'm going to be able to explain what's in my head. But if you think about a counter height and you have, let's say, 3 drawers or 2 drawers, it's like that, only when you pull the handle, it's 1 unit.
Okay.
And then vertically, in the space of the cabinet faux drawers, are 2 bookshelves type kind of things that then swivel.
Huh.
So you could put canned goods in there or cleaning supplies, because a lot of times I feel like in kitchens, if you have a counter length high and 3 drawers or 2 drawers, things are deep and awkward and stuff just
Right.
falls to the bottom, and then you can only kind of fill it up halfway because then you're rooting through it and then things get jumbled and then you can't close it. So if it was like a 1 unit drawer bookshelf type thing that when you got it out swiveled, you could utilize both sides.
Oh,
And if it
yeah.
were- you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if
hear
I'm
you.
explaining that audio.
I think I get it. Like it's
Okay.
on a track.
Yeah.
It's not the way a drawer normally would be. It is a vertical drawer.
Right.
Yeah.
But kind of like a bookshelf, because you could even put rows and rows of coffee mugs and then use where you would use your coffee mug storage for a different thing. Or,
Right.
like I said, canned goods before that are just all very uniform.
Right. I like it.
Yeah, so there was that. And then my other idea, because I'm an overachiever and I can't just have one idea, was sort of a same but a singular, like end table sized, because my kitchen is so small and that's all I can really afford space-wise, island to give you extra surface area working station. So somebody can be at the actual counter, somebody can be at the end table sized island chopping stuff, but then you also have, we'll call it a drawer, but it's not really, it's just going to tilt and then go back in. It's not going to pull
Okay.
out on a track.
Yeah. I
But
get
that's where you put your compost bin or where your trash can goes instead of under a sink, or your recycling can. So you can still walk around it in the way that people walk around pillars,
it.
but it also gives you the added surface area workspace. Because right now in my apartment, it's really tragic, but there's no place for any kind of garbage receptacle.
Yeah.
We had a place and a double trash recycling receptacle, but then we were like, we should
Yeah.
get rid of this and get a cabinet from IKEA. And we love that cabinet, but then we were like, the garbage. So now it just sort of hangs outside of the cabinet where
it's
the
just kind
sink
of like
is.
a weird, yeah.
It's just out and open. And so when people come over to visit, we're like, oh, take the trash out. Or these people are close to us, just leave it.
Well,
But
this
it's
is
an
kind of,
eyesore.
oh yeah, trash cans are really difficult to navigate. This kind of like, it gives me a bit of an idea, because this is something that like I always want to be able to do, but there's really just no way that's good to do it. But it's basically cutting out the middleman, which is like the indoor trash can trash bag situation. But, and I know that this is a more challenging thing to do when you're in a city like New York, such as yourself. But like where I live, if there's a way that I could have a spot on like my wall that goes directly to outside where like the trash bins are, and like a little kind of like a drive-through window, or
Or like
I don't know, just like
a chute,
some
like a laundry
like a chute.
but
Exactly.
for your garbage to go outside. That would be
Right.
genius.
I mean, yeah, I mean, tall apartment buildings and stuff have garbage chutes like that. Some of them not so tall, and they just go into dumpsters. But it's like, why can't that kind of thing be built into a house?
home.
Because it's like, let's cut out the middleman. Why are we wasting all this plastic on garbage bags?
Yeah.
Send it down the chute.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's smarts.
That's smarts there for you, people.
Mm-hmm.
So you challenged me to servingware.
That I did.
So, utensils, plates, bowls, so on and so forth. I have two ideas because I got my little Louise inspiration there to overachieve a little bit.
Yes.
And both of my things are related to, I guess, it could be like weight loss or health concerns, but the first one is a plate that has a built-in scale, so you know exactly how much food you're putting onto it. It's just all built right into it, and like maybe when there's too much stuff on it, it like lets out like a shrill beep or something, and you have to like remove something if you want to have something else.
I have a question.
What's up?
Like a regular round plate, or like a cafeteria tray where different compartments measure different things?
Ooh, I like that idea too. As long as you're being honest with yourself.
Okay.
But like, and I totally get that. Like, yeah, there's such a thing as like a heavy salad that's like healthy for you. Maybe there's just lots of beets on it, something like that. But like, I understand that there's going to be issues here, but if you are worried about the, I guess, just the amount of food that you're eating, that's like, I don't know, one way to maybe deal with it.
Nice.
And I have a name for it because, again, just like Louise, I'm feeling Louisey right now. But it's called Plate, but instead of PLATE, it's PLEIGHT.
Slow clap. I love it. I love it.
And the other thing is a fork that, when it is used too much in a certain amount of time, what are they called? Tines? Is that what the little forky tines? They retract.
Oh, like a Wolverine claw.
Like Wolverine claws. They just kind of suck back in and they say, put that down. Also, maybe if there's a way, I don't know how to visualize this for a spoon, but all I know is that, like, all right, if I get out a pint of ice cream and I'll just take a few bites or whatever.
A pint, that is a serving size.
That is a serving, yeah. So, but it's like, it shouldn't be. And I know that, I just don't have the willpower. So I need a spoon to be my willpower and like collapse after
I got it. It's called Spoodle.
Spanoodle.
And it becomes like a wet noodle when you've used it too much.
I love it. If there's, I don't know how to make that happen, but like it sounds amazing. And then you make it go back to its original form by like washing it. I don't know. Okay, those were really fun. Before we get to our challenges for next time, I want to talk about not one but 2 phone calls that we got. I know, silently cheering.
I know, I'm so excited.
If you call 304-804-IDEA, you can leave us a voicemail with your great idea. We'll talk about it. We've done it before. We'll do it again. We got 2 calls. That's the great news. The bad news is there weren't any real messages left because they were calls from correctional facilities, and we can't pay the charge or accept the call if it just goes straight to a voicemail. So, to all of you listening who are in correctional facilities, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that we can't receive your calls.
Do they get to email?
I don't know. If you have email privileges, greatideapod@gmail.com. I don't know how things work there. So, Louise, my challenge to you for next time is prison.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also
We had 2
wondering
calls,
if, like, maybe
one day after another. There were 2 days in a row that we got calls.
I wonder if we need to set up a P.O. box for snail mail, because I bet they can absolutely write mail. It's just then
Louise-
one of us will have to go get the mail from the P.O. box, and we need a sponsor.
We absolutely need a sponsor. If for any reason, it's just so that we can have a P.O. box. If anybody wants to support the show financially, we have a Patreon page, and
Yeah.
we have like little prizes you can get with your small donations. So it's patreon.com/greatideapod.
Because now I'm soups intrigued, and I want to
Right?
to be in contact. Okay.
Yeah, so yesterday I was like, oh yeah, we're going to be recording tomorrow. I better get the stuff so that I can play the voicemails. Let me take a look at the voicemail things, because it's like, it's with Google Voice and it transcribes it. And it's just like, and I just read the first couple of words, and it was like about being from a correctional facility. And they were from 2 different numbers. So,
Well, I wonder if that's just maybe the routing
one of
number.
one of them was an 800 number, and another one was just a regular area code.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Bummer.
And also,
We'll try to figure something out.
also for anybody out there, if we are your one phone call at the at the sheriff's station, I'm sorry that we can't answer. I truly am. We hope that you're not in
And
for
if you
marijuana
just get
related
phone
crimes. I'm
privileges-
just saying.
If you get phone privileges in prison, but you don't have anyone to call, you can still call us. We just can't hear what it is or answer.
If you just need to dial some numbers,
Well, I just
highly
mean, like,
recommend 304-804.
I don't know the kind of psychology that goes behind being somewhere and then not having anyone to call when most other people can just call someone. Like, if you're just calling out into the void, this is weird, and it's not weird, but I don't remember what movie this was from, but somebody had saved a voicemail of a deceased person and just like listened to it over and over again, just like it just made them feel good. What movie was this? But anyway, yeah, if you're just, the number and you're just calling it because you have podcast privileges but not internet, I don't know how that's working, but Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, your
We want
challenge.
to. Okay, thank you for listening. By the way, to
Yes,
all of y'all
thank
out
you.
there.
For next time, I'm sad to say I thought of it beforehand, and
You can change your mind.
well, I don't
If
know
you
how
have
to change my
something
mind
different.
because I don't have something else. But I was gonna say
Okay.
there was a day last week that it was 75 degrees in New
Mm-hmm.
York City in February, and
Right.
I bent down at work and split the knee of my favorite pair of jeans, and I thought it's okay. I'll make them into shorts, and then realized that could go terribly wrong. So right now they're just sitting with a knee hole in them. I know that's probably really trendy, but I'm not a knee hole kind of lady. But so your challenge is cutoffs,
Jorts.
whatever.
Okay. Challenge accepted. Like I have a choice. Cool. I dig it. Everybody, thank you for listening. We've talked about all the things that we would normally say now before.
Yeah.
304-804-IDEA. greatideapod@gmail.com. And so on and so forth. Yeah, that's what I got. You got anything, Louise?
Nothing else to add.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with me, Louise.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
Bye.
Don't see it happening.